we are going to have some activities that enable us to see that we depend on a lot of people, different people, to be able to meet our fundamental needs. The first activity is before us, and it starts with a question. Where do we get our food from? Bread. If you want a loaf of bread, you go to the store to buy that. Here is the shopkeeper at the store. I'll put that here. But the shopkeeper does not make the bread. He gets his bread from the baker. Here is the baker. The baker needs flour in order to make the bread, and so he gets it from the miller. Here is the miller. The miller's job is to grind up wheat to make the flour, but the miller does not grow the wheat. He gets it from the farmer. Here is the farmer. Now let's look at the baker. He needs a lot of people to help him. The baker does not do all his work by himself. The baker has a dough maker who mixes all the ingredients to make the dough. Here is the dough maker to do that. Once the dough is made, it needs to be baked. It's baked in an oven and has to be watched. Here is the oven tender who watches the bread when it bakes. Once the bread is baked, it needs to be put into packages. Here is a packager who puts the bread in packages. Now let's look at the miller. He also needs help. The miller uses a lot of machines, so he has a mechanic. Here is a mechanic that keeps the machine in good repair. The miller needs to move a lot of flour around, and so he has a helper that helps move the flour around. Here is a helper that does that. The miller also needs to keep track of how much flour he has and how much he has ground up. So here is the storekeeper, the one that keeps track of what is in the store. The miller has to pay for the wheat that he gets from the farmer, and he has to keep track of the money. Here is the bookkeeper that does that. It helps the miller to keep track of the money. The farmer has to get the wheat to the miller. So he needs a transporter to take it from the farm to the miller. And this is a transporter that does that. Taking the wheat from the farm to the miller. The miller himself needs a transporter to get it to the baker. Here is a transporter that helps the miller to take the flour to the baker. The baker also needs to get the bread to the shop. So here is a transporter to take the bread to the shop. Look at all these people working to make the bread so that you could just go to the store and buy it in order to have your breakfast. You can imagine if you have to do all these things all by yourself, you'll be too tired to do anything else. So as a follow-up work, you can do this activity again, or you can think about any other food that you take. Like I have here, from sea to salt. So you can think about the various people involved in this process. Or there are other ideas here you could choose to do, from tree to table. You could do from cement to bridge. You could do from cocoa bean to chocolate, or from cotton to pants, or from cow to shoes, or from fruit to jam, or from gold to money. The possibilities are endless. So you could explore any of these ideas and draw the different people. Can use a material like this, can draw the different people, and what they do here in this circle, to do the same activity, to show how we all depend on so many people to be able to meet our fundamental needs. This is activity 1.